when the greatest Canelo came out, the one that you guys seen that fought Triple G the first time, bro, dude popped dirty for clenbuterol, bro. Why do you think the second fight didn't happen? So for me, seeing that was the best Canelo I've ever seen.
David Benavidez recently accused Canelo Alvarez of using steroids to win his fights. On the other hand, Caleb Plant has fought both Canelo and David Benavidez, but sadly lost to both opponents. He compared both fighters' punching power by stating, Canelo hits harder for one punch. He hits harder than David. Obviously, David has good momentum. He's the bigger guy. He throws a lot of punches as a good frame. However, David puts them together not just better than Canelo, but most people in boxing. David can put his hands together. Plant further praised Canelo for his intelligence in the ring. Canelo has the level of experience, among other things, his IQ in the ring, his command in the ring, and things like that. Meanwhile, boxing promoter Eddie Hearn shared that Canelo would take any fight if the money was right, even if it turns out to be $150 million. Hearn further stated that Canelo knows the challenge that he will face with Benavidez, so he has a number in his mind.
I think it was probably a little bit tongue-in-cheek, because I know Sal will fight anybody, but he also knows that that's a big fight, and it is a massive fight. It's one of the biggest in boxing. And if you pay Sal the right money, he will take the fight. Whether that's 150 might be a little bit adventurous, but also I think, you know, his comments about the hydration, I think that's in his mind as well. You know, you're talking about a guy that will hydrate somewhere between 25 and 30 pounds. So he's not going to be a million miles away from 200 pounds in the ring. He'll have at least a stone on Canelo. So it's a tough fight. The thing is, I don't think Sal really gives a shit what people think. You know, he's done pretty well for himself.
David Benavidez also addressed Canelo's lame excuse for the rehydration clause. He believes that Alvarez is ducking him, so he is making any type of excuse he can think of. David also shared that he only rehydrates to 17 pounds.
Like the weight part of it, what did you think when he said that?
I just felt like he was scared. I don't even come in at 25 pounds. I come in 17, but that, you know, that's the standard.
Yeah.
But what does it matter, bro? It's that I'm undisciplined, that I come in 25 pounds. Like, you always have like an excuse.
Yeah.
It's always something, bro.
I felt like he was setting up a rehydration clause to me. That's kind of what I was thinking, like, all right, if I say this, then when I do the rehydration clause, whatever, is that something that you would entertain if they came back to you like, look, we want the fight later this year, but, you know, you got a rehydration clause?
I have no problem with that, but he's getting, if that happens, he's getting 200 million, then you got to fill the 25 extra pounds.
Benavidez has been calling out Canelo Alvarez for years, but after the champion continually ignored him, David was forced to move up to the 175-pound division. Benavidez claimed that he feels really good moving up in weight, and he doesn't want to make a name off of anybody, despite beating all the opponents at 168.
Hey, you moving up to the light heavyweight division? How you feeling right now?
I feel good, bro. You know, I feel like I've been wanting to make the move up for a long, long time. The only thing to keep me at 168 was Canelo. I had, you know, won a spot that I had rightfully earned. You know, I won the WBC title eliminator, the WBC interim title, beat the people that they put in front of me, Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andre. You know, so I was denied of getting a title shot. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I never wanted to piggyback off somebody's name.
Moreover, Caleb Plant predicted how the fight between David and Canelo might turn out. When it's big fights like that, it's hard for me to just say, oh, this guy will win or that guy will win, because if Canelo got in there and won, if he stopped David, if he caught him with a big shot or was able to get on him or just win and get his hand raised, you know, you couldn't say that you'd be extremely surprised. And David, with his ability, if he was able to get in there and get the job done, I wouldn't be surprised either. David Benavidez seemed absolutely frustrated at Canelo, so he said that Alvarez is keeping all the belts hostage and the sanctioning bodies are doing nothing against him. David also revealed that he was Canelo's mandatory for 3 years, but it seems unfair that he never got the fight.
I don't really like to bash somebody because at the end of the day, I give respect to Canelo. He's a great fighter.
Yeah.
He's one of the best Mexican fighters of all time.
But wanting to fight him, David, is not bashing him.
Yeah.
That's not bashing him.
But that's what I'm saying. They spin the narrative on Instagram. If I say something, they say this or that. But I only want what I earned.
Right.
And I'm entitled to it. From what the WBC told me, they say you win the title eliminator, we'll give you a title shot. You win the WBC interim title, we'll give you a title shot. I've been in this position for 3 years. So just because Canelo, he could do what he wants, as he says, he's not going to fight the top competition. And he's holding all those belts hostage, bro. And it's not like, you got other great fighters too. You got me and David Morrell's there. How is it fair that these sanctioning bodies let him pick and choose who he wants to fight? And then the Canelo fans too that be talking, bro, like, do you guys not want to see the best fights?
Right.
David commented on why Canelo should fight him. At the end of the day, you hold all the titles, you gotta fight the best in the division. I'm number one in the division, number one contender. The second one is David Morrell. He's not fighting me, nor he is not fighting David Morrell. On the other hand, Stephen Edwards favored Benavidez over Canelo and claimed that Alvarez is smart, so he's avoiding a fight with the tall giant Benavidez.
David Benavidez is not the guy you want to experiment on, man. He's a killer. So
You favor him over Canelo if he ever gets that fight?
now I do, yeah. I think.
Even if he has to go up from 75, come back down to
that's
68?
That's an issue.
Yeah.
That's an issue. That's definitely an issue. Canelo's smart. He can do whatever he wants.
Stephen further commented that Canelo punches really hard, so it could be a mistake on David's end to go down in weight once again. Edwards thinks that Benavidez will definitely get the money to fight Canelo, so it's a no-brainer that he will come back from 175 to 168. Stephen revealed that if Benavidez gets comfortable at 175, then it could be a major problem for his power against Canelo. Moreover, Edwards said that Canelo's one-shot punches are devastating, but David definitely throws a lot more combinations in his punches. Jake Paul also explained the reason why Canelo is not fighting David Benavidez. He said that Alvarez doesn't want his glory to fade overnight against a beast that is not known.
A lot of boxers don't do this. This is why Canelo's not fighting Benavidez. Why would Canelo fight Benavidez, who's relatively unknown, and Benavidez beats him and Benavidez becomes overnight a superstar? That's Canelo's letting Benavidez make a name off it.
Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez recently slammed David Benavidez for his controversial win over Alexander Gvozdyk. Canelo shared that 175 is Benavidez's weight class, but everybody saw that he could do nothing against a fighter that was old and almost retired. Meanwhile, Alexander Gvozdyk praised Benavidez for his punching speed and boxing talent. Alexander talks about the size of David, and he also admitted that he sparred with him in the past. Gvozdyk admitted that Benavidez completely dominated him in sparring. Furthermore, Gvozdyk revealed that he also sparred with Canelo Alvarez. He added on Canelo's ability to fight. He's a very smart, very good defense, you know. I think he is one of the pound best fighters for a reason. Hits really hard, so it was a great experience. Gvozdyk said that Benavidez hits way harder than Canelo, and he is not even a light heavyweight. He is more of a cruiserweight. He further commented that Canelo is faster, and he has a lot of other tricks in his bag. He mentioned that Canelo's speed, defense, and footwork are top-notch. Alexander also said that David's footwork is terrible, which he actually used to his advantage in the fight. Furthermore, David Benavidez said that the best version of Canelo, who fought Golovkin and used to knock people out, was on steroids. He said that Canelo got suspended for 7 months for using clenbuterol. Furthermore, Benavidez shared what his dream on boxing was. My dream when I was a little kid is just to be unified world champion. And so if I'm not getting it here, you know, I'm going up to 175 and I'm going to start to campaign there. On the other hand, Floyd Mayweather fought Canelo when he was just starting out and handed him a grueling defeat. Mayweather gave his honest opinion on the situation that Canelo might be ducking Benavidez. If it was up to me, like we keep on saying we want to see Benavidez, Canelo is a hell of a fighter, but in my personal opinion is that he's ducking Benavidez, and that's just my personal opinion, and I'm allowed to speak my mind. That's just what it is. We want to see Benavidez, let's make it happen. Edgar Berlanga, who also happens to be Canelo's next opponent, recently slammed Canelo Alvarez for ducking David Benavidez. He said that Alvarez just declared that David is a better fighter than him. Berlanga was of the view that Benavidez is the same as Canelo, so it makes no difference. He said that just like David will jump up 20 pounds on fight night, Canelo will also jump up the same amount, so it doesn't even matter. Edgar continued to insult Alvarez for ducking Benavidez. He's here it's now. He's super. On the other hand, Jose Benavidez Sr. recently lashed out at Canelo for avoiding a fight with his son. He said, Canelo is almost on his way out, so we just have to stay patient. Canelo doesn't want anything to do with David. Every time he comes up with excuses. He wants to fight Munguia and Charlo, and says David has fought nobody. Those are just excuses. He and his team will do anything to stay away from David. The Canelo era is turning into a circus, to be honest with you. He just wants to make money. While Team Benavidez remains adamant that Alvarez is avoiding Benavidez, Canelo's trainer isn't having any of it. Eddie Reynoso recently told ESPN that the offer never came. Reynoso stated, I find it in very bad taste that they say that Canelo is afraid of him. I don't know how they dare to classify a fighter as fearful who did not hesitate to face Floyd Mayweather, Miguel Cotto, Gennady Golovkin. The reality is that none of the big promoters have given me an offer to fight Benavidez. Moreover, Canelo Alvarez compared both Beterbiev and David Benavidez as his opponents. He said that Beterbiev would be the tougher opponent as he is the reigning champion. Canelo further revealed that the weight disparity between him and Benavidez is not the real reason he is not fighting David. He said that it is because because of the money that he wants. Canelo said that he likes to be comfortable and at peace when talking about other fights, but the biggest promoters want him to fight upfront. Alvarez further stated, "I'm not begging for anything, I'm in good position. I'm not begging to make that fight. I don't want anything, I'm doing my own business and I'm good. You want to make that fight, we can talk after the fight." Benavidez has stated that he will be fighting the winner of the Beterbiev and Bivol fight after October. Canelo had some remarks of his own on David the Weight Bully. Alvarez shared, "If David Benavidez is like we saw in the last fight against Alexander Gvozdyk, yes, Bivol beats him. Look, 175 is his, and he did nothing at 175. He's not the same." Meanwhile, Bivol explained that Benavidez is a great fighter, and he seems really confident that he can go up against him and Beterbiev.
I heard sometimes, from people. I didn't see his interviews, to be honest. But I respect him as a fighter. He's a really great fighter, and what he's saying that he wants to fight me and Beterbiev, it means that he's a great fighter. He's confident and he wanna achieve more and more.
Bivol remembered the times when he sparred with Benavidez. He said that David scored a few good shots, and then he scored a few good shots. He shared that sparring is just sparring, so a real fight would be very different. Moreover, Canelo Alvarez compared both Beterbiev and David Benavidez as his opponents. He said that Beterbiev would be the tougher opponent as he is the reigning champion.
Beterbiev and Benavidez, who do you think is the biggest challenge for you?
Oh, Beterbiev.
Beterbiev?
Yeah,
why is that?
of course. Because he's a champion. He has something to offer me. He's strong. He's in another way. He's a lot of things. A lot of things.
Canelo further revealed that the weight disparity between him and Benavidez is not the real reason he is not fighting David. He said that it is because of the money that he wants. Canelo said that he likes to be comfortable and at peace when talking about other fights, but the biggest promoters want him to fight upfront. Alvarez further stated, "I'm not begging for anything, I'm in a good position. I'm not begging to make that fight. I don't want anything, I'm doing my own business and I'm good. You want to make that fight, we can talk after the fight." Furthermore, former boxer Tim Bradley dished out some disrespectful words to Canelo Alvarez for ducking David Benavidez. Tim said that Canelo is the face of boxing, so the face of boxing should fight everybody.
He respects Benavidez. I don't care what he says, that he ain't done nothing and all that stuff. If he ain't done nothing, then why you asking for $150 million, dog?
He brings nothing to the table for me. I don't need to fight anybody. I don't need to prove anybody anything.
And he's calling your name. He's doing the same thing you doing. He fighting. You the cash cow. You the face of boxing, and you don't answer that call, bro. That says something about you, man.
Former boxer Paulie Malignaggi also claimed that Benavidez is the stronger opponent in the Canelo-David matchup. He further stated, "I don't care who Canelo fights if he would vacate the titles. Personally, I've been saying this for 2 years. I think David Benavidez runs him over like a train running over a car that's stuck in the train tracks. I stick with that. His apprehension to fight the mandatory continuously only cements my opinion." Malignaggi further commented on the belts that Canelo is holding on to. "I don't think he's going to fight Benavidez. The only reason I want to see him fight Benavidez is for the belts, because I don't even think it would be a good fight. I'm more excited about other things than I am about Canelo." Meanwhile, David Benavidez talked about his routine and why he loves boxing so much. "I love running, I love doing weights, I love all that stuff, so a lot of people say, I'm undisciplined or this and that, but at the end of the day, bro, you ask anybody in the gym, I'm in the gym all day, every single day, we seeing it putting in work, bro. And that's just the type of person I am, Even Canelo's enemy, who was once a very dear friend, Oscar de la Hoya, shunned Canelo for ducking Benavidez. He said that Canelo has made enemies with Turki al-Sheikh as well.
So it turns out I'm not the only one who thinks Canelo is an arrogant piece of shit. Turki al-Sheikh recently revealed that Canelo refused to meet with him in person and isn't entertaining any deals to be done with him. Why? Because he's outpriced himself so much that the Saudis don't even want to deal with him. And it's all because he will do anything not to fight David Benavidez.
Oscar claimed that Turkey wants to make the fights that everybody wants to see, but Alvarez continues to take the fights that no one wants to see. Despite the bad blood between David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez, it's not as worse as the enmity that Canelo has with his former opponent, Billy Joe Saunders. Canelo stated in a recent interview, "Billy Joe Saunders, that bastard pissed me off, that's why he got what he deserved. Some fighters talk before the fight, but I think he's a bad person. I really enjoyed beating him." Is Canelo avoiding Benavidez? How do you see this situation? Let us know in the comments section below and subscribe for more content like this.